Greetings and welcome to this edition of Pharmacy Focus here at the School of Pharmacy at the University of Charleston. Today, in this episode, you'll have an opportunity to hear from Dr. Rajan Radhakrishnan, our Associate Dean for Academic Affairs in the School of Pharmacy. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this edition. Hello, how are you today?
Very good.
Good, good. You're going to talk to us a little bit about some activities you've been involved in with NACDS, which is the National Association of Chain Drugstores. And we had some exciting news and opportunities that have evolved since the springtime with NACDS. So tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So actually, we heard about this POCT, point of care testing, that is offered by National Association of Chain Drugstores from actually Dr. Easton, because she went to one of the AACP interim meetings and then brought back this news that NACDS is going to implement this program. And again, Fruit Pharmacy, one of our collaborators, they were also planning to implement this POCT in their pharmacies. So Academic Affairs Committee of School of Pharmacy, we talked about that, and we thought that it might be a good idea to implement that for our students so that they will be prepared in advance for what is coming in the profession. So that is where all this started. And POCT, for those who do not know much about POCT, it is a set of clear wave tests that most health professionals, they can do it outside the laboratory settings. And you probably need, specialized training for doing POCT related tests. And POCT certification that is offered by NACDS provides that training for students and for other professionals. So we actually decided, Academic Affairs Committee actually decided to implement that POCT training program for our students beginning fall of 2016. And the plan is already in place. The new students, class of 2020, they're going to actually get that training this fall. Now, the exciting news is that we were fortunate to get a grant from NACDS to implement that in the fall. It was a $20,000 grant. So we could buy all the equipment and all the test kits and those kind of things. We also have some money to train the faculty and staff in POCT, to train them as trainers for our students. So that is exciting news. We submitted a grant in March of this year, and it was granted in April, and now we have the money to do that POCT training for our school.
And I think what's exciting is the fact that a couple of things. One, it adds to the types of certifications that we provide to our students, which means as graduates, they have some very specialized training that allows them to do some really interesting things. Like we already do immunization training, right? And we already do medication therapy management certification training for our students. And so adding the POCT is yet another type of certification that our students have, that as graduates, they would be able to, in their respective workplaces, be able to implement some of these great public health types of screening opportunities. And so this year and maybe even next year through the grant, we'll be able to take some of that POCT opportunities on the road, right, at different types of public health venues. So talk a little bit about what you were thinking and what the committee, the Academic Affairs Committee, was thinking that we might be able to do through these funds.
So some of the goals that we put in that grant application was that we will do at least 2 public health events each year. So we'll take our students who are trained in POCT now, who will be trained in POCT now, along with the faculty members, and we'll do some kind of health fairs in the community, especially in rural areas. Where there is, access to healthcare is very sparse. And then, so that is our one of our major plans with this POCD training. We also put in the grant that once we identify or detect some of these disease conditions through POCD testing, we will report that back to the public health department of the state. So all in all, I think this is going to impact the public health scenario in the state.
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, we commonly inside of our building and in our pharmacy circles talk about the fact that pharmacists are situated very uniquely to be able to positively impact public health. But we often don't think of ourselves in that vein, and the public doesn't often think of us that way. And so I think that this project, along with others, helps to move that message to the fact that pharmacists are uniquely situated to be a surveyor of what's going on with the public's health, and then reporting it back to the public health and partnering more closely with the public health departments so that we can help give data that helps the public health officers do their job even better. And so this, I think, really opens up, when we talk about the expanding roles of pharmacists, I think this really adds to one of those expansions. And so this is really great, and I appreciate your leadership because you helped really put all the meat together for the grant and write it up and make sure that it was sound and shepherding it through the various areas through in the school that were necessary for us to put a high quality proposal together that was then selected for funding. And I think we were one of 5 or 6 other colleges of pharmacies that received that grant. So thank you so much for all that you're doing for our program and the curriculum and making sure that our students are getting up-to-date, current, and also futuristic information that will help them when they go out to become those high-quality pharmacists that we're training them to be. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Radhakrishnan.